Hello everyone and welcome. It is me, Conan, and today I have a very special video for you. As you might have seen on my channel, I've already done 2 videos on this October drawing challenge, comic challenge thing I did for myself during, the month of October, where I was like, oh, I'm gonna draw a comic in 31 days, and I have the story I want to tell, and I will tell it. Also, again, apologies for the audio. Probably I speak very loudly and I can't control my voice. Hello. So, for this video, I want to do like a general overview of the project and do some pros, some cons. I have actually some questions I asked for on Instagram, which is very exciting. But yeah, before I really get into the meat of this video, I would like to do a little disclaimer. Yes, in this video I will be discussing in some ways like self-worth as an artist and burnout and motivation and mental health stuff like that. So if you do not want to hear that because oh crap I can understand, then feel free to skip this video. But if you are ready for it, feel mentally up for it, let's just dive right in. So first of all, why the fuck did I do this? This is a question I actually ask myself a lot during the process, but last year I did a small little project called Deeper Than the Walls, which was basically I had this spooky story about a house and I drew an illustration for it every day. And I would write a little sentence or a word, and if read together, it would tell a story. And the images were kind of supplementary, so it wasn't really a comic. And the year before that, I did something similar, but with like gothic style text and an illustration to accompany each one of the 31 gothics I wrote. And this year I for some reason wanted to step it up, and I thought about what I could do, and I remembered that I had this concept for a story that's actually been with me for quite some time, and it was supposed to be originally for actually a tabletop game, but that never happened. And so I thought, hey, this is a pretty short story, and I think I could do it in a way, where I can draw like a square format quote-unquote page every day. So it would be easy for posting on social media and tell the story in that way. So I started off, and here is where I will bring in the first question I got from Instagram, and that is what the question concerns my planning process and if I thumbnailed everything first or if I just went for it. It is actually a pretty difficult answer because in September I was actually a big brain boy, and I actually started thumbnailing ahead. I think I did 10 pages and I was pretty happy with that. Sorry if there's cuts in the audio. Actually talking on mic is very exhausting and I get tired and I have to yawn a lot, so I'm sorry for that. Anyways, I did the first 10 pages and I thought I would thumbnail ahead while working on the comic itself, so I would always have thumbnails ahead, but that didn't really end up working out. So for the first while, when I had actually the thumbnails, it went quite well because I just had to sit down and draw the page without really thinking about it. And as I didn't have any more thumbnails, it more turned into sit down, stare at my screen for like an hour, figure out what the page is gonna be like, and then I would, like, when I got later into the comic and I was more comfortable with drawing the characters, I would even just use the thumbnail as my sketch and just ink over the thumbnail, which I don't know, I think I got way faster at working on comics, but at what cost? So yeah, that's how I planned for it. And well, that's why the first week went quite well, but in the second week I ran out of thumbnails and I realized that this project is actually way more of a time investment than I originally thought. And so I think it became quite a chore, if I'm quite honest, like having to sit down and spend those 2 to 3 hours every day grinding on the comic, while I also had my education to do, and while I'm also working on projects for my portfolio, was not really it, TM. So I did really lose some steam, and by the third week I would have this problem where every time I would sit down to work on the comic, I would just get extremely tired because my brain didn't want to work on it anymore. And I think at some points I was like towing the line to burnout with this comic, which, well, it is not great. It is not great, chief. So you may ask yourself, why did you finish it? If you weren't having fun, how did you finish it? And again, another disclaimer, the things I'm gonna say are only applicable to me. I am aware I can have a very unhealthy work ethic. I'm a bit of a workaholic, in case you don't know me. So, and oh yeah, I'm also extremely, well, not ambitious, but like stubborn. If I start something, especially if it's such a short thing, I will fucking see through. I will do it, and I will do it to the best of my abilities. So how did I motivate myself? Well, I actually have no idea. My main goal every day was just to get the page done. I don't, for like the middle part, Slump of the challenge especially, it was less about just having fun or the joy of it, and it was more about just sitting down and doing it because it's what I've been doing, and because I really wanted to finish the challenge and finish the comic. I have not yet. Well, I think it was also, I don't think I've talked about it that much, but I actually worked on a webcomic for almost 2 years, which then for like personal reasons I stopped doing. And I think I just didn't want to give up on something again that I was generally passionate about. And I mean, sometimes, like, especially at night when I was like laying down to sleep, I would like think about the comic, and that was fun, like trying to already come up with the next day's thumbnail and dialogue, and that was really fun. But in general, I think I literally finished it through pure stubbornness. And here I want to say that is not healthy. Please do not just disregard your mental well-being for a stupid 30-day challenge. I keep saying 30 days, it's like 31 days, but 30 is a way nicer number. So, yeah. Sorry for that downer, but next we are gonna talk about difficulties. Even more of downer, yeehaw! So, I think my main weakness is dialogue. I'm not very confident in my dialogue writing abilities, and I do not believe my dialogue is very good, which is a bit of a problem because that's actually also a big part of why I stopped working on my webcomic, is because I thought it was just fucking garbage. And with this comic, while I was working on it, I was like, oh my god, I'm literally making garbage. Why am I still doing it? And of course, I was doing it because I was too stubborn to not do it. Now that I've had a couple of days of break, I think I can appreciate it for what it is. Like, I'm still not very confident in my dialogue writing abilities, but I did draw this story, which has, let me think, I think 34 pages plus a cover in the month of October, and I think I'm allowed to be proud of that. And as I take further time away from it, I might come to appreciate it more and more. And in that line, I would also just quickly like to speak about just the experience of posting it online. I am not a big artist online, I'm really not. So the feedback or, well, just engagement I got on my comic was comparatively low. And what I'm not doing here is complaining about my engagement, because I do not like that, and I will not do that online. But what I do want to say is that if you are susceptible to like online engagement and social media culture, and you decide to do such a project, which you shouldn't, don't do it. Do not, especially not 2020. Fuck it. No, don't do it. But if you do it, be aware that the reception it gets on social media can become a really big part of how you view your own work. And I could make a whole entire video about that, but that is not why I'm here. And this is why I will actually go over to the second question I got on Instagram, which is if I found any ways to save time while making it. I think I did not really find ways to save time as much as I got just naturally faster because I got used to the process. One thing I really like about comics is that it really teaches you to work fast and efficiently, which is an incredibly important skill to have if you want to do such a project successfully, but also if you just want to be a professional artist in general. So I'm incredibly thankful for that, and I think especially came down to just learning how to draw my characters, with the whole just being able to ink on top of the thumbnail, because I just knew what my characters looked like, and some of them I hadn't drawn a lot before I started this comic, and it was really interesting to see what shortcuts I used, because I think that is a lot of what makes a character design for me, is how you simplify it. Because if you just, I think if you draw a character in a comic a lot, it can be like iterating a design. Like you notice what's efficient, what's inefficient, and you start to either modify or leave out the inefficient parts or the parts that just don't work in their design. And I think that's also really cool. So now let me check my script. I think I talked about almost all of it, except, well, the like grand the big question, sorry. Do I regret it? And well, yeah, sorry. It's like I do genuinely regret the attitude I've had towards my own work for the month of October. It's not nice to have to sit down every day and work on something when you are, or you think you are, fully aware that it is garbage and no one will want to look at it. But I also don't regret it, because I think it has shown me that I'm at a point where if I want to, I can pick my webcomic back up, because if I can do one black and white shaded page a day, I can do an inked black and white page a week. So I actually feel like I can start my webcomic again. And that makes me really happy, since it is very important to me, and are stories I still want to tell, and also it's convenient because it is actually in the same universe as my October project. So my October project is kind of a prequel, so I think it's really exciting to already have a prequel people can read before the actual comic. And yeah, so I think all in all, I'm still glad that I did it. The method could have been improved and my attitude could have been improved, but I think I just learned a lot. And I'm not sure what I want to do with it. Maybe I will go back and fix up the text and the dialogue, and I will get it printed, maybe just a copy for me because I like having them. I actually like printed and handmade a copy of Deeper Than the Walls, and I will probably insert a picture of it because it's really cute. But I'm also considering offering just my October projects as free PDFs on Gumroad because it's really fucking tedious to read on social media. So if I have that done by the time this video goes up, I will actually link my Gumroad in case you want to read it. So yeah, also I think for the footage, I will just put some random footage of me working on a comic or like some funny drawings and image examples. So there's not much to say about that. If you want to hear more about my process or see more about my process, there's actually 2 other videos on this project I already have up, which you can check out, and they will be linked in the end card. And speaking of the end card, I think with that I am signing off. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, maybe subscribe, maybe even like the video, maybe leave a comment and tell me what you thought of my hot takes, and if you are planning to work on a comic, and if you did an October art challenge and how it went for you in this hell year of 2020. I hope you're all safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.